Hi, Jason. I'm making this response into the email that you just sent me on Sunday morning with, or excuse me, Friday night with comments on the formatting. I'm going to show you how to make some of those changes here. So, if one thing is that the book is supposed to not be 5.5 by 8.5, but it is supposed to be 6 by 9. That is easy to fix, and I know the problem you were running into. So, if we go to page layout and I go to size, I'll go to more paper sizes. You are changing it up here, but you'll notice that the default is applied to this section. You've probably never paid attention to that before since you haven't used sections. All your document has essentially been one section, but now I have it broken up into multiple sections for the formatter, for the for each chapter, and then for the ending matter. And so what we need to do is we'll have to apply it to whole document. So I'll go 6 by 9, apply it to the whole document, click OK, and if we scroll through you can see that everything is just fine. Because of the way I set it up, I've still got all the chapters and things starting on their own pages, as you'll see. You can see here, like this is on 5, the acknowledgments are 5, we have the backside, the even empty backside, introductions are on their own page, starting with a 1, 2, that's still at the head. The biggest change, though, is that that you'll find is that because of the widows and orphans and things like that, some things might have shifted a little bit, but we'll just have to fix those manually, unfortunately. So we could do that, and then we just go ahead and we go to our styles, and that was going to be a paragraph. Okay, so there'll be a little bit of adjustment, but for the most part, things should be okay. And then let me pause it for a second. There was one more thing I want to show you, and I can't recall what it was. And I'm back. Okay, so some of these things we'll have to manually adjust. I like this page, for example, to be down at the bottom, so I am using just the very rough technique of returns until I get it how I want it. Yep, there we go. Okay, perfect. If I want this to be a little bit further down, then I will go to page layout. I have it so far, so let's see, make it okay, and I'll do the same with this one here. Okay, the biggest problem we're going to run into is that in trying to prevent against widows and orphans, and in trying to keep some of the Bible quotes and things together, I did some manual adjustments, so we'll have to unadjust those. So let me see. Okay, so we'll do that, and we'll go make sure we get this on paragraph. I'll just have you watch me go through a chapter here and just kind of set it up. This chapter is starting where it should, so we'll make sure all the chapters, you can see the headings and everything are fine, but you do want to make sure that if some of the other because we're dealing with a bigger piece of paper, some of the chapters might change your pagination. You might end up with a chapter on a starting on an even page, in which case, you just need to watch for that carefully and make sure you do an extra page break in the previous chapter. So it's no big deal, but we'll go through and we're gonna fix this one chapter. Okay, that's looking good, looking good, looking good. We're looking good so far. Okay, here's a place where I had manually put that at the top of a page to make the whole Bible quote stay together. Okay, and I will need to, there we go, change that formatting here. This is ending on page 13. Should have it should have okay, even. So this is on an odd. Okay, perfect. We'll fix chapter 2. Another place where I had manually put it through to the next page. Again, to fix the formatting, this is the chapter subhead. There we go. The two natures. We'll want this to start, of course. We don't want this to be by itself, so we'll go insert page break, which means that this needs to come back. Home, Bible reference alt. Why is that not? Oh, there with Bible reference. Difference between Bible reference here and Bible reference alt is Bible reference has a little bit of space in front of it, and Bible reference alt is just for those occasions where I didn't put a space because I wanted it to be at the top of a page. Same thing here. I'm going to have to adjust this to, I don't think I create a chapter head alt. Well, what I'm going to do, I'll just go ahead and go to layout, take off the spaces before it. We could have also made a new format, so let's do that in fact. Let's go to styles as a new quick style. Chapter subhead alt. Okay. All right. Okay. That's good. That's good. Want this on a new page because I don't want to just hang in there. We'll make this follow our alt. So it's at the top of the page. We'll want this back. We'll make this the regular Bible reference. Boink. Like so. Ooh, this should be quote alt. Oh. There we go. Another case we're going to want to go on to the new page. It's probably not real exciting listening to me, but or watching me, but at any rate, you're getting an idea of how this is done. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Okay, this, we don't want to have this, this is what they call a widow, it's where you have one line and then the rest goes. So we'll go ahead and I'll insert a page break at the beginning. This is the part where it gets annoying because it's just a little manual, but it didn't take too long to fix it all up. And okay, let's go ahead and put these more resources on a new page. That is, you can see, for it's a back page, and here's where we have one of those problems where this is going to start the chapter on an even page. Not a problem. I'd probably put an extra page break there. There, we get rid of that extra page, and you see that's nicely formatted. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to pause after a second. I'll take care of the rest off the video, but I want to show you one more thing. Let's pretend that we were all done with the entire book and and everything's been repaginated. But what about our table of contents? Well, we don't have to manually update this. What we can do is you do a right click, you go update field, and you can update. I suggest page numbers only because when I set up the table of contents, there were some spelling corrections going between upper and lowercase that I fixed. So I would just suggest page numbers only, and you can see that it starts to fix them. So that would be pretty much it. I'm going to pause the video in case there's something else I want to show you, though. I'm not sure, so let me go ahead and do that. I'm back. Here's another neat trick. What you can do to kind of save your time from trying to figure out the styles up here is if you click this little arrow, it puts a styles palette, and I can kind of put it off to the side. And this is really useful when you're doing a lot of formatting changes. Okay, so like I said, I can do that, and I can do boop. I'll let you watch me for just another second here. Insert page break, and then we'll put this to subhead alt, so it's at the top. Okay, life is good. We're moving on. You can imagine that when I was doing the formatting throughout the entire book that I used this quite a bit, where I was just had this off to the side instead of constantly trying to go up and figure out what was what up in this menu here. It's very useful. I'm going to pause again in case there's more little tricks I want to show you. Here's another nice little trick I like. You notice here at the end of this chapter, No Longer Sinners But Saints, you end up with this little bit by itself that's on an odd page. Now I could just go ahead and do a page return and start this at the beginning of the odd page. You have the even page and then the chapter begins, but it's going to look kind of odd. You're going to have a huge gap in here, and it's just a waste of blank paper and stuff. And I know one of your goals is to get it down to 350. So one of the things we can do is to condense this text. So I'm going to highlight from here to here. I'm going to do a right click. I'm going to go to font, spacing, and I'm going to condense it. And I'm going to try it as little as possible. By default it goes to 1 point, but you can actually do a fraction of a point. So I'm going to try to do 0.2 points. and see. Is that quite enough? Not quite enough to scrunch that up. Let's see if we can do one more. Just do it a little bit more. Let's try 0.3. Is that enough? There. Okay, that's just enough that it kind of pulls that in. You can see it's a little bit more scrunched than it is on the other pages, but I don't think the average reader is going to notice. And so all we need to do is get rid of the extra page so that chapter 7 is beginning on the odd. So I will just delete, boom, there we go. And that works out quite smoothly. I'll pause in case there's more tricks. Alright, I'm just going to wrap up this little video of tips. So I've gone through and I've fixed all the chapters. I did an update of the contents, again, doing just the right click, update field, page number zone. You can see it's all odd pages. So that's all good. Just the way it worked out, we're down to 357 pages, which is good because you said you wanted under 350. And it's, it's all looking good. The way that I had to figure out what the total time was. I don't think this took me more than 20 or 30 minutes to do this, maybe less. I mean, it was really quick. That's one of the advantages. Once you have it set up with the styles, you can change things very quickly. It really didn't take much at all. All right, I will go ahead and stop the video, and this will be video number 4 for tips.